Hey everyone, we're here. We're back, and today we're doing another anti-MLM video. And before we get started into the video, I just wanted to share some general anti-MLM news that I found out about this morning. This morning, TikTok put out their new community guidelines, and this will be put into place later this month. And the only reason I am talking about this is because they have updated to their frauds section. So let's go look at that really quickly and see what it says. It says, "We do not permit anyone to exploit our platform to take advantage of the trust of users and bring about financial or personal harm. We remove content that deceives people in order to gain an unlawful financial or personal advantage, including schemes to defraud individuals or steal assets. Do not post, upload, stream, or share content that depicts or promotes phishing." And now this next one is very important. "Content that depicts or promotes Ponzi, multi-level marketing, or pyramid schemes." So it looks like TikTok is not going to allow people to be promoting their MLM on their platform anymore. Now, of course, I am aware that just because they have this in their community guidelines does not mean that they will automatically delete every video that has to do with an MLM or block the people who only talk about their MLMs. I just think it is good to have this in the guidelines because the main demographic of TikTok is relatively young adults and teenagers, and they're all impressionable. And the whole reason that you would even post about your MLM on social media is to sell the product and hopefully create a downline. So I'm also aware that people who are in MLMs will probably just find other ways to get around this. I just think that it is a positive step forward in hopefully limiting the amount of MLMs that more and more people see throughout their journey on social media. And now, speaking of MLMs that love to use social media to promote their business, let's talk about the worst of them all, Beachbody. And I know a lot of you agree that they are one of the worst of them all. And the video we're going to be reacting to today is a team call, which I know a lot of you really enjoy because I feel like team calls you really get to see the true natures of people and see how they go about explaining the business and what the business is and how they got to be where they are, because they always have to give us their life story. So that's what we're going to be watching today. Let's get started.
So you guys probably guessed from all my fabulous clues that is our speaker tonight, right? Yes? Okay. So we keep our guest speakers a mystery, and then we feed them little clues about who is going to be speaking. And I think pretty for sure that we have a ton of fangirls in here that love you and follow you very, very closely. So they knew pretty much instantly who I was.
Could you imagine being a fangirl of somebody else in your company? Like if the VP of your company came in and you're like, oh my God, it's the VP. It would just be so funny. I don't think a lot of people think of that but I mean, not that she's the VP of her company, but it's like they put the people at the top on literally this pedestal of oh my God, they're amazing, they're up there, and they're just the greatest people, and they really worked hard. And it's like, some of them, sure, most of them just were lucky.
Hinting about, but that's just because you're pretty much a legend with our team. So
legend.
I will still, even though I told you guys a lot of these amazing stats, I'm still going to shout accolades, and I'm sure I will miss something important. So don't be bashful. Feel free to fill us in on what I missed. But she is a 9-star in her first CBC, 11-star in her second CBC, 2 stars in her third CBC, diamond in her fourth CBC. That's a lot of stars and a lot of diamonds. I don't know. 3-time elite. Like I said today in my clue, she ended 2018 and 2019 at number 15, her and her team in this whole network, which is insane. Just incredible. And she has been in Success Club for 57 months. She is engaged in a dog mama and building her home, her dream home. And I'm sure I missed a whole bunch of other amazing accolades. So unmute yourself, and if there's anything else that I should have covered.
Definitely not. I still feel like a new coach, guys. I'll be totally honest with you. I feel like I am still consistently failing, consistently just figuring out what to do next. And so if you guys don't...
This girl's supposed to be coming on to be like, you know, the guest speaker to pump them up, motivate them. And I guess I can understand where like she's like, guys, I still have like rough days and all this stuff, but to still be like, I feel like a new coach. I'm still figuring it out. To me, that would sound like she just got lucky in everything that has happened with her. But that, I mean, that would just be me going into this. But I think she's trying to sound relatable. Like, guys, I know you must feel like a failure and like you're still trying to figure stuff out. Well, me as like the awesome 50,000 star coach diamond that I am, I still feel like I fail. I don't know. Not probably what she meant, but a little bit how I would have, like, how I would take it if I was sitting in this call.
Who I am. My name is... I am 28 years old, and I've been doing this business technically enrolled since 2014, but I was like a really glorified discount coach for a year. My sister, so if you guys know who she is, that is my big sis. I always have to say she's my biological sister because we look nothing alike and we have the same set of parents, but also our names are different, so no one ever really catches that. I'm just the last of the pretty much. But yeah, so things have been pretty crazy. I waited about a year to sign up because I was the most stubborn little sister in the entire world. And it took me another year to work the business. And I will be 1000% honest with you. The only reason I signed up was because Jamie wanted me to. I was not in any way, shape, or form going to do fitness for a lifestyle. I actually, since I was 12 years old, knew what I wanted to do, and that was become a dentist. And I know it's really weird. What 12-year-old wants to be a dentist?
No, that's awesome. I think that's really like a cool thing when people know what they want to do at such a young age, and whether they follow through with certain things or not. I think it's always like really, really awesome when like children are like, I know that I want to do this and I'm going to strive to do this. And I think that we need more children like that out in the world, because I know that when I was younger, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, I had nothing. I'm just like, people were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said all kinds of things. I said a veterinarian, an actress, a hairdresser, which are all three totally different things. So I had no idea what I wanted to be, but I think a lot of people are like that. They grow up in the world and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. Even as adults, we're like, I still don't know what I want to do.
It was me. I was born with an underbite. So I was like this for the longest time. So I had a head brace, I had braces, I had an expander, I had every shape of...
So that makes sense. So she wanted to be a dentist because she had terrible teeth and finally got fixed, and she wants to be a solution to a kid who maybe went or is going through the same thing as her. So that makes sense on why she would want to be a dentist.
Health appliance. So it was kind of all I knew. And so when I went to undergrad at Michigan State,
it's all you knew? Well, I guess because she was probably in and out of like the dentist's office a lot. But they were probably really sweet and nice to her, and to her, they helped, make everything better.
I applied to dental school, didn't get in. And so backup plan was, actually, I was talking about to my fiance the other day about this. When I went to my advisor with the idea that I didn't get into dental school, his backup plan for someone that went 4 years with science was to go into retail sales. And nothing was more gut-wrenching than being told, yeah, good luck.
Would that be true? That, I mean, yeah, she can apply to dental school and, you either get in or you don't. And then she had 4 years of a science degree, and they said your only other option is to go into retail? I mean, I guess you can always, yes, anyone can go into retail and then be promoted to a manager. Anybody can do that with a degree or not. But her counselor told her that she either is a dentist or she goes into retail sales. That's either a terrible counselor or she misunderstood.
And so I figured out my own plan B. My own plan B was dental assisting school. So I was going to go there. I graduated straight A's, top of my class, and I applied to dental school again. Well, I was told no without an interview again. And if you guys have ever applied for professional school, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. You have to take those entry exams, and it is a lot of everything. And so when I got denied again, I was crushed. And during that same time, I was in a pretty toxic relationship, and I was also suffering an exercise-induced eating disorder. So my idea of going to the gym was go to the gym, burn off X amount of calories, and you will stay there until that number has been met, and you will track every single thing you eat. And what happened was I was in my sister's Turbo Kit class. It was 5 p.m., and I fell down in the class, and she asked me what I ate that day. And it was a banana and a yogurt, because my fitness pal told me that I shouldn't be exceeding X amount of calories.
But how many calories would, like, a yogurt and a banana is like, that's not even 200 calories. So clearly she has an issue with food and probably needs to get professional help for that, not join Beachbody.
And so among all of these different things, I was, not seeing results I wanted. I wasn't confident. I was in this relationship that was just not good for my mental state. And I was also not getting into dental school. So if you could have wrote failure on my head, that's where I would have walked around as like my tagline. And so cue into Beachbody.
But you not getting into dental school doesn't make you a failure. You were in school. And yes, of course, like that must suck. And, to be let down, especially when you're looking forward to something so much. I can see that, but that doesn't make you a failure. Just because you apply twice and give up doesn't make you a failure. Well, I guess you gave up, but it still doesn't make you a failure. You just need to pick yourself back up. But clearly she was just not in a great emotional state. And I think they always have to share this, like, such a dark past, and Beachbody is the one that got them all out of it, right? Like, I was in a terrible situation, but Beachbody saved my life, which is such a terrible way to look at that, because Beachbody has destroyed so many people's lives, like on just more levels than financial. I have seen where, like, they say that I wasn't eating enough. Beachbody didn't, like, they really restricted my calories and all of this and that. And, the workouts are good, but they're repetitive. I get bored of them. So it's beyond the financial. It's also the physical and the mental.
My dad had actually suffered a widowmaker heart attack. So he had 100%.
Geez, this girl is one thing after another. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't know if they say this because, like, they're trying to make their lives seem worse than others. So it's like, if I can overcome this, then you can too. Maybe that's why they always say this stuff.
Blockage in his main artery. And she was exercise science, she was kinesiology, she was a wellness specialist. And so she was all over that idea. And so my dad's heart stopped 3 times in the same day, and he went through a surgery that was going to be a 10% survival rate. And I was, during this time, in Chicago, 3 hours away from home, and I'd spent the entire night at the bar. And I got a call at 7 a.m. that my dad almost wouldn't make it through surgery. So we sped home. We got a flat tire, and needless to say, it was the worst day of my entire life. And I will never forget walking into the room and giving my dad, like, the most gentle hug I've ever given anybody, and just sobbing in his arms, and talk about the biggest wake-up call, right? And so thankfully he's a success story. Like, my dad loves Beachbody. He loves Shakeology. He works out every day. He is the poster child of what to do after you've had a heart attack.
Signing up for an MLM is not the poster child for what you should do after you have a heart attack. That is no. If you survive it, then you change your life and you eat healthy and you work out and you do everything you can to stay in shape and keep your heart healthy. Not join an MLM. And I guess because his daughter probably said, like, Dad, you need this, and I'm happy that he survived, and I'm happy that he found something that is working for him and keeping him alive. That's amazing. But this is manipulative to say that Beachbody saved my dad's life.
Actually, is his surgeon uses my dad's story as what to do with your family moving forward. And
what to do with your family? Get them all involved in an MLM? The surgeon should not be saying that.
So that was where I came into Beachbody. And I would love to say that I had this overnight transition, that I was all on board. And I supported, but again, I wanted to go to become a dentist. And so I went and got my master's degree. And when I was and during this time, I was a discount coach. I was just showing up, kind of drinking Shakeology, just doing whatever I needed to do, working out with Shaun T.
So she was a discount coach because her sister asked her to join. And it's always that thing of get your sister, your mom, and your best friend, or your sister, your dad, and maybe your mom also. And so she just joined because her sister was probably annoying her, which we hear about that a lot.
And fast forward a little bit of time, and when I went into my master's degree, I was again told, sorry, you're not good enough. And
is it? Of course, I don't know, and I understand that getting into certain things is extremely difficult, but if she has her master's in science, is it really that hard to become a dentist or a dental assistant? It can't be, right? I'm probably wrong about this, and I know it's hard no matter what, because it is a pretty competitive field, but it can't be like that hard when you have a master's in it. I don't know, let me know.
And I had a provisional acceptance in my master's degree, which means that I wasn't allowed to get financial aid. I had to pay for school while I was in it. And they also told me, if you want to get, really great grades, you can't have a job. So coming from...
Who? Where? How? What counselors is she talking to? I have never, and I guess, everyone's different, but to say, for you to get good grades, you can't have a job. That's a lie. You can work a full-time job and go to school full-time and still get good grades. People do it all the time. That's how they pay for school, especially if you can't get financial aid, and then they tell you you can't get a job. How are you supposed to pay for this stuff? Who is she talking to? She either was mishearing them, or she went to the worst school in the history of schools.
Not being able to get a job. Plus, I don't know what to do with my life. I need this. This is my only path. The only thing that made sense was you need to do Beachbody. And so I truly think that my journey started not because I wanted Beachbody, but because I truly needed Beachbody. I needed it mentally, financially, spiritually. I needed the community. I needed to find myself.
The community. We got that word in. We have to have the word community in every single MLM video. Otherwise, it's not a true MLM video.
And so when people come in and they say, I want to hit Success Club. I want to, no. That's not what we do here. What we do is we need certain things in our lives.
No. We have seen this. Okay. We have seen this so much in these team calls. They tell you have to hit Success Club. If it's the one thing you're striving for, hit Success Club every single, is it month? I think it's every single month. Hit Success Club. Just aim for Success Club. And she's saying no, that's not what we do here. We change lives. You have to want to change your life to hit Success Club. And no, she wants everyone to be her, apparently, and have that epiphany that Beachbody saves your life and changes your life forever. And some people just want to go in as the part-time whatever, but she doesn't want those. You have to go full force, and it has to be that changed your life. And no, see, maybe that's the way she runs her stuff, but we have seen it multiple times. And they just say, if the one thing you do is you hit Success Club every single month, then you're good. But her whole thing is, no, we don't do that here. We change lives.
And until you need something like Beachbody, this is going to be a hobby for you. And the day that
Oh, stop that. That's so manipulative. Until you need this, until you have hit absolute rock bottom and Beachbody is there, the only thing that's there for you, this is just a hobby for you.
Went into this, and the first month I hit Success Club, I needed Beachbody because, one, I had to pay for school while I was in it. I had to pay my loan. And I was struggling hard. I was struggling so hard that there was no other option but up. And so I made it work. I did whatever I needed to do to make it work. And so I went through my master's degree, and in hindsight, it's kind of funny, but during the time it wasn't. I applied to dental school again and again got denied. No interview, nothing. Thousands of dollars, I would say at the time, I felt like was being thrown down the toilet. I am a believer, so I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And in hindsight, it all makes sense because my path wasn't dentistry. My path wasn't that toxic relationship. My path wasn't that. I had to go through that to find the path, and the path was always Beachbody. It was
all of the things she went through all led her to Beachbody. And is she trying to say, like, if you guys are having a hard time right now and you're struggling, Beachbody's the answer. Beachbody will solve all of your problems. Duh.
always supposed to be me finding Beachbody and sharing my failures with other people to inspire them to go through it themselves. One of the best pieces of advice I got during this journey of throughout Beachbody, finding myself, was any hard thing you go through in Beachbody is going to be because at some point one of your coaches is going to go through it, and you are able to tell them exactly what you did to get through it. You are able to walk them through and talk them through something that's going to be very difficult for you. So for me, failing forward was something that I just had to learn. I was put into this position and I had to fail forward. I had to figure out social media. I had to figure out how to be confident behind my invites. I had to figure out fitness and health, because dentistry and fitness are two very different things, but at the same time, the same root of my journey was that I truly wanted to help people. And instead of just helping them with oral care, now I get to help them with the total solution. Hey, I want to talk to you about the 5 lessons I've learned in my journey. And I think a lot of times I remember being a coach to get on these calls, and I'd hear from these coaches that were successful, and I would be like, okay, waiting for like the moment that I'm like, that's why you were successful. That's it. That's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting. And I would sit there and I would be disappointed after the call, because I'm like, okay, consistency, vital behaviors, got it. I'm already doing that. Great. But the thing is I've just failed more than a lot of other people.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't know what other people have been through. You don't know what other people in this call have been through. I mean, people have, sick parents and other things that have happened, and been in toxic relationships and been turned down for jobs that they really wanted. And that sucks. But people have been through way worse, and or maybe not as bad, but not handled it as well as her. And to say you've been through worse than most people, I don't like when people make that generalization that like what I've been through is clearly worse than what the majority of people have been through. You don't know what the majority of people have been through. You are more open to sharing your life and sharing the bad experiences that you have been through. But just because other people are not as open as that does not mean that they haven't been through worse. I don't like that. I don't like that mentality of I've been through worse than you. Even though you haven't told me your story, I know what I've been through, and it's clearly gonna be worse.
I've just showed up longer than a lot of other people. I've tried to rework my things more than other people. And there are people that are beyond me in this business, and the reason is because they've done it more than I have. And so number one, and these kind of just like when I asked myself what I wanted to kind of share with you guys, is they're going to jump around a little bit. And I think that I wanted to kind of get the total thing of what I've learned in this business. Number one is people trust a brand. They don't trust a business. And so when you ask yourself who you follow on social media, I can guarantee the people that you love could sell you anything and you would probably buy it. One of my top coaches has struggled with skin issues her entire life, and this whole week she's been talking about how it's progressed her skin with this new routine. And I thankfully don't really have skin problems, and I'm tempted to buy the product that she was talking about. You will trust a brand all day. I, from day one, have loved Nike. My team name is based off of a campaign that Nike created a long time ago. It's called it was created about this idea that women need to be 1% better than yesterday. And if you ever Google and you're really bored on YouTube, just type in Nike Women campaign. That is where my team name came from. So I trust Nike, and the things that they come out with, I don't even care that I've never tried on these shoes. I buy them because I know Metcons are my jam.
But Nike is a business. It's a brand that's also a business. So what is she saying?
And you know what's going to happen is I have a pair of shoes being delivered tomorrow. I guarantee someone trusts me enough that when I put them on, if I like them, someone goes to buy them that day. Because people trust what I have to say in certain areas. And so when you ask yourself, what do I want to be trusted for? People don't sign up for Beachbody. Like, Beachbody is amazing and our trainers are amazing. They sign up for you. And so when I was joining in Beachbody, I wanted to figure out what my market was going to be. What did I feel like people needed to trust me about? And I'm very open. If you guys follow me on Instagram, whether you struggle with mental illness or anxiety, depression, I am very open about it. Because I want people to know that, one, it's normal. Two, you can still be successful and a functioning adult as long as it's not too far and you need to see a therapist or something like that. But people trust me to be that person. So when I try an anxiety routine or anxiety something or other, something like essential oils, for example, people trust me because I
don't know about that. I do agree that people should always be open about whatever mental illness they're going through, or if they experience anxiety or depression, and just let others know that they're not alone. But to recommend that stuff, I don't know. I think it's getting a little too much because everybody is different. I guess like certain things can't hurt you. Like if I were to say like I spray lavender spray on my pillow every night and it helps me sleep. Like I guess that's a little bit different. I don't, but like I could. And I don't know. I feel like when it comes to mental illnesses and stuff like that, that is a very touchy subject, and people should not necessarily recommend stuff, but that's just my own personal opinion.
Grow up with all the failures and all the things that I'm honest about of my own mental illness, that I know that at the end of the day, if I were to say, you know, this is D3, so this is I guess vitamin D helps. If I were to say, wow, this has been game changing in my journey towards helping my anxiety, I guarantee people are going to purchase it. Guaranteed. I tried Home Chef. I think it's Home Chef the other day. It's a meal delivery service. Never tried it in my entire life. Okay. I talked about that on Instagram. I said, this is what I've been doing in the past. I just want to try this out. I have no idea if this food is going to be good, but it seems pretty legit and I've heard it's really good. Before I got the delivery, I had 5 people sign up with my referral code because they trusted the brand, not the business.
But again, that doesn't make sense. They trust you. They trust you. And the business, I guess. But like to be promoting something before you've even tried it, and maybe she was just like mentioning that she's gonna get it, and then other people were maybe thinking about getting it anyway, so they're like, hey, can you send me your referral code? You know, I've wanted to try it anyway. That I can understand, but to be like, she's gloating. Like, she's like, I've created this brand and people trust me. They come to me for all kinds of stuff because I've just created this amazing brand. I'm just a brand that people trust. And you know what? Good for her. Clearly she's done well because of this. But I mean, I personally, like, I mean, everybody is, I guess, in a way their own brand. I don't know. They're not their own brand. They're their own person that they've just put themselves out there as someone that people can trust, and that's a good thing. But again, like, oh, I forgot to turn on my little light back there. I just realized that people can't. I got distracted by my own self. Like, I would just want to be known as a trustworthy person, and if I ever put something out there that I wanted to share with you guys, like, I would hope that you would trust me, but I would never consider myself like a brand. I would think that you guys would trust Jessica, like the person that I am, not like, hi guys, I am the Respectfully Sarcastic brand. Buy whatever I say. Like, I wouldn't want that. I'd want to be like authentic and be me. She's just really honing in on this, like, you have to create your brand, and it's like the brand is Beachbody. And the reason why people trust you is because they trust you as a person. The business and the brand are Beachbody, but you yourself are the reason that people would come to you and trust you for the things that you have to say. Like, I have my channel as Respectfully Sarcastic, but if I were to ever, like, be selling you guys, no, I wouldn't, I mean, if I were to be promoting something, or even if I guess I were to sell something in the future that, like, I genuinely, like and, you know, want you guys to experience it as well, like, I would be doing that as Jessica. Like, Jessica is selling this to you guys. Like, not Respectfully Sarcastic, even though it technically is me, but, like, I am Jessica. I am not Respectfully Sarcastic. That is just, like, my channel name, but it's like, I'm not my channel. I'm just a person. And that's the thing, is I want to be me, whether it's off camera or on camera. I'm the same person, whether you call me Respectfully Sarcastic or Jessica, I don't care. But I am Jessica selling you something. I wouldn't be the brand Respectfully Sarcastic telling you that I like this, so you should like it too. I'd be like, hey guys, I like this. Maybe you want to try it. I don't care either way. Something like that. Like, I don't consider myself a brand, even though a lot of people on social media do, but I wouldn't want to ever refer to myself as a brand.
So number one, what do you want to be trusted for? What do you feel like you can bring to your social media or your challenge groups or your coaching groups that people can trust you? Number two, you have everything inside of you to react either like a CEO or an employee. This is probably one of the hardest and most impactful things I've ever learned as a coach because of this. I was listening to Tony Robbins. If you guys don't, highly recommend. In one of his podcasts, he was talking about inside of us, there are two people. I have C and I have Glenn. And so I want you guys to think about yourselves and with your last names, obviously. And C is the nurturing person where everyone needs to be like happy and go lucky, and I want to help people, and I want to make sure that they have the most important and special experience in the entire world. Like, is the nurturing, happy, that person comes into play, and the CEO. So she comes into play and there's no BS. Get out of my way. I'm going to run towards this goal. So you have two of these people, and two of these people sometimes get conflicted because something happens within Beachbody, whether it's a message or a cancellation or something, and you're responding with the wrong identity. And I think it's really impactful to ask yourself, which part of me needs to respond to this situation? Because if I am having, like, for example, I actually had a diamond coach quit 2 weeks ago. A diamond coach quit. And that is always freaking hard, especially when you...
Yeah, because then she drops rank, I think. Maybe not with how many diamonds she has. Well, I guess a little bit, yeah, because you need to have, like, X amount of diamonds on your team to make, like, X amount of money. So, yeah, when a diamond coach quits, that's hard for them. That really affects them.
Developed a relationship with this person. You have worked with this person.
They have made you a lot of money.
They have become part of such a big part of your team. And I immediately went to... and I cried a little bit. I was sad. I went to... I had to, like, vent about it. It was really difficult. And then I had to take a step back, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I had to react like... because CEOs don't stop because one person quit. I can't act like an employee all day, upset that someone didn't respond to my DM, or someone said they don't like, X, Y, and Z, or...
I mean, I like how she says, like, just an employee, as if... But that's the thing, is that, like, employees wouldn't care... Loud. Employees don't care if other people quit. It doesn't affect their business. Like, if you're working a regular job and one of your coworkers quits, that doesn't affect you or your money or your time. And for some people, it could be beneficial because, like, if you work an hourly job and, you've been wanting to pick up more hours and that person quits and you're like, I'll take their hours, you get more money out of that. So sometimes it's actually beneficial when you're an employee and somebody quits.
Have a great experience or whatever in your head you're telling yourself that you need to respond with. Because it's okay to be there for a moment and to process and feel those feelings. You need to feel those feelings. But if you're spending all of your day long about, oh, I'm just so overwhelmed or I'm so discouraged, you're spending way too much time acting like an employee, and there's no surprise that's why you don't feel like a CEO.
Maybe because they're trying as hard as they can. They're doing everything they can. They've messaged 50 people today, plus they've done their... what is it called? The tracker. Oh my God. They've done the tracker and they've contacted 50 people and they've contacted the other 50 that they tried to contact yesterday. And nobody has said yes or nobody seems interested. That would get people down and they'd be like, why am I working this hard and seeing nothing? I think that's how any normal person would react. And they always make it seem like you should not ever have this feeling of defeat. Like, feeling defeated means that you're not working hard enough and that's on you, even though it is a completely real feeling to feel because you're seeing other people succeed. Why aren't you? You're doing everything they are. Why are you not getting the same results? And it's because of the business structure. But of course, everybody in Beachbody who are at the top make it seem like it's you. There's no way it could be the business structure because Beachbody is a successful company. I'm successful, but the people at the top are successful because the people below are struggling and they're trying to stay, confident, and they're trying to stay motivated, but it's hard when you're just making money day in and day out and giving money to a company that doesn't really care about you.
And so other times you respond so much like a CEO that you haven't really let yourself feel about the situation. You're like, bless and release, move on, let's go. And it's like, okay, we're human. You need to make sure that you are still feeling the things. But asking yourself in a hard day, and I encourage you guys, if you have downline people message you, ask them back. How do you feel right now? Do you feel like an employee, or are you treating this business like a CEO? Because when I look at the top dogs in this network, they respond like a CEO way more than they respond like anybody else.
Yes, that would make sense because the way that these MLMs are run is like the people at the top are usually the same people and they have like basically a huge stake in the company. So they are kind of in a way like the CEO. So that makes sense.
They're bringing out way more than they're bringing out. And again, feel those feels, but don't spend all day, quote unquote, feeling overwhelmed, because what's going to get you to point B isn't just sulking and feeling like, it's going to be transitioning it to feeling like a MF CEO that you can be. Number 3, this is probably something you've heard, but I feel like it's an encompassed feeling of a lot of different things. Speed of the leader determines speed of the pack. Speed of the leader determines speed of the pack. And I think this goes to show that a lot of people will say, if you want your coaches to do, X, Y, and Z, you need to double what they're doing. Okay, great, awesome. When I'm looking at things in this business, I need deeper than that. I want to know not just, okay, if I want them to hit SE5, I need to hit SE10. But I truly think that what you bring to this business with your hype, with your consistency, with your drive, with your effort, that is what the speed of your team is going to see. If they see you show up on social media for a couple days and then go away because life is hard. Guys, life is freaking hard for me right now. I'm going through something, and you see what I'm doing? I'm hosting a call. Like, you got to do what you got to do to show your team that they got to do it too.
I'm going through something, so therefore you have no excuse if something is going on in your life. You can't ever take a break from this business. You have to constantly work it no matter what situations are happening. And that is not a healthy way to go about things. Like, it's just such a terrible thing that, like, if you are going through something, you're like, God, I really need, like, just to take a moment. And people like her are saying, like, well, I had a hard day and you see me working. Like, why don't you just get over it? It's always that, just get over it and work.
What you do and what you don't do is a direct representation of what gives them the okay. If you show up when things are hard, they show up when things are hard because they know that you can do it. And if they don't, you can say, well, I didn't teach you that. For me, I have posted on Instagram for 6 years straight. 6 years straight, never missing a day. We had deaths. I had depression. I was out of the country. I paid my best friend to post just in case I didn't have Wi-Fi. I figured it out so that
even when it is supposed to be like this business, you can work it whenever you want. You have the luxury of being able to turn it off because you're working from home, whatever. To be like, well, there was a death in my family and I still worked. I was out of town and I still worked. I made it work. Like, I didn't teach you to fail. Like, that wasn't me. So her whole thing is like, because she works every single day, it is important to pick yourself up and work through the tough times, but to not take a step back and process it, especially because everybody is different. Everybody experiences things differently. Just because you can handle your hard days wonderfully, that's great. Other people need a little bit more time, and guess what? That's okay too. But not in MLMs. Nope. It's you took the day off. Well, no wonder you're failing.
I can honestly say to my coaches, you didn't learn not having consistency from me. So at some point, you thought that was going to be okay, and that wasn't from me. Because I needed to determine the speed of the leader. Shit happens. Ooh, sorry, there's kids. You guys follow me, you probably know I swear. Like, things happen in this business, things happen in life, and it's hard to post on social media. I get it. I'm not saying you need to share your whole life and put all your dirty laundry out there.
I mean, you kind of are, because that's what they always tell you to do.
But what I am saying is, if you want a team that's going to hit diamond or 2-star or 5-star or whatever, what would that coach do? What?
Maybe be a compassionate person who understands that other people can't just push through when they're having hard days. Like, you know, to not, I don't know. It's just, I don't like that mentality. And Beachbody is that #1 of, oh, you're having a bad day? That sucks. Work harder.
Numbers would that coach be hitting? Because your team is going to look at you as this gold standard. And I guarantee if I were to look at success.
If I was genuinely a part of this team call and she was basically saying like, you know, I have hard days and I, you know, work through them and I didn't teach you how to quit, I'd be like, so I'm not allowed to have a bad day, and if I have a bad day, then you know, you'll basically be mad at me, like, and I'm gonna fail because I needed to take just one day off, or I just needed to, you know, step back and have a moment to myself to process something that I'm going through. And if I were to say, like, you know, she were to come to me like, why didn't you hit, you know, do the tracker yesterday? And I could be like, oh, because this happened. She'd be like, I didn't teach you that. You should have been working. You see what I do? I work through those hard days. And it's like, that's great. Fantastic for you. But sometimes I can't do that.
Club and be like, oof, this month was just really hard. That just gave my team permission that it's okay to ruin a 50+ month streak because life's hard.
No, it doesn't give them permission to do that. It lets them know that sometimes it's okay to take a break when life is hard.
I work harder on the months that are hard than anything else. And I truly think that when I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z, sometimes those are my best months because I'm able to channel it and work harder or smarter during the time so that I can be present in other ways. And so that goes to show with social media, but it also goes to show with your challenge groups. If you're not putting value in them and you're bored AF, that's where you need to ask yourself, I need to be like a CEO and figure out why I'm bored, rather than being like, I just don't really like challenge groups. You know who doesn't like challenge groups? Me. You know who grew to like challenge groups? Me. You have to form your own way to grow a business, because if you consistently just throw your hands up that you don't like something or something's hard, that's where things get sticky.
Alright guys, I'm going to end that here, mainly because this video I already know is going to be crazy long and my computer is about to die. Oh man, yes, we got typical Beachbody coach, for sure, of I work hard, I work through the hard days, if I can do it, you can do it, so if you're having an off day, I didn't teach you that, I didn't teach you to quit, I didn't teach you to give up. Like, nobody teaches people to give up, they just, again, everybody handles things differently, and that is okay, but in MLMs, as we have seen, that's not okay. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk all things Beachbody in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!